Welcome everyone, this is Norman, your host. On this episode, we'll be discussing, is the current landscape conducive to providing the best advice for insurance customers? Can Amazon or Google provide better convenience, transparency, and experience when delivering insurance products? And we discuss conflict of interest integration model. Listen to the end, hear the wishes of the panelists for the coming year. Hello everyone, we have here on InsurTech Underground, on the cave, Alan from MyFutureNow, Dinesh from Ucompare, and Pedro from Thornton. Before we jump into it, I'll let you guys give an introduction about yourselves and how you actually fell into insurance. Let's start with Pedro.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. It is great being here with all of you guys and having the opportunity to share my views on insurance. My background is in statistics and operations research, but I became an actuary by accident, mostly. There was a big recession, no jobs, so I jumped onto that, and 20 years later, here's where I am. So in the past few years, I've been focusing mostly on applying data science to insurance companies, financial services in general. That's how I came across Jesus as well, and that's what I'm doing now in Thornton.
Nice, thanks.
Hi guys, my name is Dinesh, and Jesus, first of all, thanks very much for inviting us here for this very important conversation that everybody wants to have, but nobody had in I don't know how many years in the insurance sector. So yeah, so I'm an accountant by trade, and I have extensive insurance experience in past. I've worked in insurance for the past 10, 12 years, and more I thought about insurance, like there's need for like innovation, because the insurance is the same from past 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. There's not much happened in recent years, so that kind of like led to like we need to change something, and we started the idea of Ucompare, and that's why I've been heavily involved from past 2 or 3 years in relation to the technological advancement and the new technology that coming into the insurance, and InsurTech is pretty hot topic in recent years. So yeah, that's why I got hooked up into it.
Nice, thanks.
Pass it on to you.
Great, thanks. And same again, thanks for having me here, and great to meet you guys. I mean, my background, I'm a financial advisor by trade, so I've been I suppose advising clients over years in relation to insurance, pensions, investments, etc. So my name is Alan Browne, by the way, and I'm the founder of MyFutureNow. So MyFutureNow, what we do is we help people to find and consolidate pension pots. So effectively, I suppose when we're talking about convenience, we're dealing with an issue that is a long-term product issue, if you like, in terms of how people perceive a pension. You know, it's something for the future, and trying to get them to engage with pensions is a difficult thing. But what we're helping people to do is do just that, engage with it and improve their situation by bringing together various pension pots and consolidating them into a plan of their choice. So yeah, the pensions, I suppose, falls kind of between insurance and investments, if you like, or and that side of things. So it's not quite insurance, but it's I suppose traditionally it's insurance companies that would have been involved in selling pension plans, although that's changing quite a lot now. So that's my interest in it, and yeah, great to be here to talk about insurance in general.
Once I have you there, you guys have very interesting business models, yourself and Dinesh. I'd like you to flesh out your business model, because it's all about convenience. It's the main topic of the panel, convenience as a service, and the idea was to really bring convenience to the pension industry. How you feeling? Give us a bit of
in terms of that. Yeah, well, I suppose so. The background to it for me was when advising clients on pensions specifically, there was kind of two parts to the problem. There was the admin side of things in relation to the headache that I would have to go through, and pulling plans together, reviewing them for customers, paperwork, a lot of paperwork and that. And then on the customers, the actual client side of things, they generally didn't really understand what was going on in relation to pensions. It's grossly misunderstood. but it's really, really important, right? So it's going to replace your salary in retirement. I mean, that's really important thing, right? So it was really about, okay, well, how do we help people to take more control of their retirement planning, and pensions being a big part of that. So we went about trying to figure out, well, how do we help them? And to start, we needed to help them by bringing their data together. So if you'd imagine you start and stop jobs throughout your life, and people are doing it maybe every 5 or 6 years now, they're starting a new job. And what happens is people tend to leave these pension plans behind them, right? So they move from one employer to the next employer, so they accumulate these pots. They reach their mid-30s or early 40s, which is kind of the profile that we have, that we work with, and they've accumulated a number of pension plans. They don't know where they are. They might have an idea of where they might be, don't really know how they're performing, certainly not. Don't really know, they don't tend to know even how much is in them. They don't know how much they're paying in fees, etc., etc. So what we wanted to do was to try and shed some light on that. So bring that data together for these policyholders, and then give them the option to consolidate it, so they, one, don't lose pensions, which currently in the UK there's about 1.8 million pensions that are technically lost, in that, which is borderline 20 billion in assets. That people have completely lost connection with. Providers don't know where their customers are, and the customers don't know where their policy is. So it's really about helping them to avoid losing it. So consolidate that money, consolidate it into a plan that you've got more control over, more visibility over. So we help them to do that. The way we do that and the way we reach these customers is we actually do it via pension providers, which might sound strange, but ultimately we run a as I call it, it's software and a service, right? So we've a platform. The providers will share our platform with their policyholders and give their policyholders an opportunity to find their other plans, and if they wish to consolidate them into that pension with that provider. So we effectively run that model with the actual pension providers.
So you're working with pension providers, and Dinesh, you as well, you're working with the actual insurers to bring this convenience onto the travel industry.
Yes.
So tell us a bit about that.
So when I was working in the insurance industry, I saw that buying insurance is not easy. And I'm not talking from as a founder of Ucompare. I'm talking as a consumer. Okay, as an end user, if I want to buy an insurance policy, first of all, the traditional route is that I go to the brokers. Brokers are not incentivized to give me the best deal. Okay, they're going to sell where they have the highest margin. Okay, there's no online platform where I, as a customer, can enter my details and see all the plans available for my criteria and what is the best plan suited for me based on the price and the cover level. So when we came up with the idea of Ucompare, so these were the two things that we have in our mind, that we want to give customer an option where just by entering their details once, they can see all the price, all the basically the cover level or the policies available in the market, and then they can compare them based on the price and most importantly based on the cover level. Because you can see that some policies are 20, 30, 40% cheaper than the next policy, but the cover levels are really bad, that nothing is covered in these policies. So it was as important as to cover the prices as compared the cover level. So when we were building it, the key focus was on that we will give customers an option where they can compare by price and compare by benefits, and at the end of the process they can actually buy online. And where we sit at the moment, we are completely impartial and we're completely independent. We're not tied up with any insurance company. So customer choose the policy they want to buy. We will help them to make a decision by showing all the covers level, what is included, what is not included. So customer at the moment can select 3 policies or 4 policies, and they can compare side by side what is covered under each policy, what are the cover limits, what is excluded in each policy. And then if once they're sure that they want to go with one particular policy, they can just buy and pay directly to the insurance company rather than paying us. So as a customer, if I want to buy a policy online, I would like to see the convenience. I would like to see that just in a matter of few clicks, I have my policy bought. up until we launched the Ucompare, there was not even one website in Ireland, which is unbelievable in this day and age, that in 20th century you can't compare prices on internet. Convenience is all about you have few clicks and you can able to buy the policies. But
100%. Just picking up that, but I'm gonna throw you a bit under the bus, Pedro, because I want to see when you think, because these guys are very interesting models, but there's conflict of interest embedded in the areas they are in. The pension providers want to consolidate all the pensions in one place to help the consumer have this portability, being able to really see the fees, everything that's embedded in the pension. Do the brokers benefit from this model as well? You compare, do they want to see this transparency in fees coming with IDD as well and things like that?
Well, I have to say that in terms of pension providers, what you're trying to drive is a change to the market, and that's always badly received. When you have a good business and everything is going well and somebody comes to change it, it's only natural to feel uneasy about it. I believe there will be winners and losers. And the winners will be those that can provide the best fees, that can manage the pension pots more efficiently and provide better value for the customer. So I can feel very sorry for the inefficient providers, and I think it's a great move for customers. I could do without service here in Ireland. I think you provide it only in the UK, but I relate to your customers. I have the same issue. I have several pension pots. I keep track of them, but it's not always easy. So for me, it's great to see that kind of initiative in the market, and I can't wait until we have it here too. In relation to Ucompare, once again, as you say, if we had a broker here, it would be saying, no, we provide a good service for the client regardless of the commissions and so on. But the perception from the customer point of view is that, well, you are earning a commission from the provider, therefore you're going to have a natural bias. Even if it isn't true, you still have that idea. So, and also the convenience of just being able to compare and buy on the spot rather than have to wait for a call. It's a winning combination for the customer. Once again, insurance companies have a setup model which you're going to disrupt. There'll be winners and losers, and that'll upset some and benefit others, but it's a good move.
I'll throw you back to the lads because I want you guys to get your views on, do you believe that the industry has captured the customer in the sense that what you want to do is very innovative, but will the industry embrace it? And what you're trying to do, because what you're trying to do will change, firstly, bring a lot of transparency to the market, and it might disintermediate a couple of people and reduce some fees to a level in insurance, right? So, Alan, Dinesh, free to...
If I may speak before, I think, because you've mentioned before about the lack of innovation in insurance, and you are right, it's not a very innovative industry. However, whenever there has been innovation, it has never been with the customer in mind. So there has been innovation in a way the customer could not see. For example, when variable annuity products came into the market, that was very innovative. But as far as the customer was concerned, they didn't look that much different than existing unit-linked products. And that was the problem, that there has been innovation, but done in a way that affected the client or the customer in a way they could appreciate, that was very tangible to them, or at least immediately. So the business model that you guys are bringing to the market are very exciting because of that, because they start with the customer.
Exactly.
What kind of innovation, what kind of technology do we need to benefit the customer, to give them what they need now?
Yeah, certainly. We at Ucompare put customer in the heart of everything we do in the company, because the business, the idea behind that, and we started that because we face the same problem on a day-to-day basis. So if you're buying a motor insurance policies, in order to get one quote, you have to spend around 20-30 minutes. And at the end of the process, 60% of the brokers or 60% of the insurance companies, they don't even let you buy the policy online.
I'm with you on it, but even with comparison engines, when they came out, the industry was very against it because level of transparency. But some people felt that everything was being based on price, so they were like, I don't really want to be part of this, right? So I say you felt a bit of challenge, for coming from the industry when you're trying to set up. Do you think that the industry has captured the customer in the sense that even people like you guys trying to innovate? The industry makes it hard.
Yes, they do. They do make our life hard. That's the simplest way to put it out. Because when we pitch to the insurance companies, they're reluctant to join a comparison panel, because at the moment, the way I see it, if XYZ company is charging for policy 60 quid and ABC company is charging only 40 quid, they don't want to be compared against ABC, because they know that their prices are high, and that might be their business model, that they don't want to sell millions of policies. They might just want to sell a few thousand policies, but they want to make more margin. So that's different business models. But what we're bringing is what you could say is transparency. That if you have, okay, your prices are high, but it is justified by the cover level that you're providing. So I don't see why insurance companies should be felt threatened with the likes of Ucompare, because we are not just doing a price comparison, we're doing a benefit comparison. So if your benefits are justified by your price, people will buy it. So again, to answer your question, yes, we feel like the insurance companies are not ready to participate. However, we have MAFRE participating in our travel insurance product. We have and Blue Insurance, one of the biggest travel insurance brand in Ireland, participating for our travel insurance product. We have car hire access, we have gadget insurance, we have bike insurance, we have contract with the companies that are willing to participate, because they know that this would drive transparency and this would drive efficiency in their own companies as well, because they, at the moment, they're heavily reliant on brokers to sell their policies, and they don't have a direct contact with the customers. Selling the policy through Ucompare, they would have direct contact with their customer. They know who their customers are. They would have direct access. They can, if there's any question, rather than the customer going to the brokers, they can go directly to the insurance companies.
It's absolutely fantastic. Right? You would add on yours, right? What I say is the customer can consolidate all the fees, all the policies in one. They can transparently see all the fees they're being charged across, right, of all the pension pots.
Yeah, that's right. And I think providers kind of see the writing on the wall, in the sense that, I mean, this transparency thing is happening, and you know it's coming everywhere. And I mean, the insurance industry is kind of probably the last one. I mean, we've got open banking, and we can see what that's doing and what that's going to do, and it's going to come to insurance. It is coming to insurance, coming to pensions, certainly slower, but it's coming to there as well. There's going to be regulation that's going to come with that, to push more transparency, to push more access to data. But it certainly is, it's still very difficult. It's a big challenge for us to get data, get the right data, because it's also a challenge for even the providers to provide it, because of old databases, old systems, etc. Lots of different policies, lots of different types of contracts out there in the market, and just accessing that is difficult for the providers themselves. I think there's more of a willingness now to give more access to data by providers, because they're seeing it, obviously they're writing the wall, but they're also seeing it, okay, maybe this is an opportunity for us to actually engage with the customers now. So for a long time, what we've done is we've kind of said, you know, let's not engage too much, because a customer might do something that might mean maybe taking some money away from us. So they've kind of realized now that, okay, we're going to have to be more transparent, we're going to have to give more access. So now maybe we engage the customer and get them to understand that we're actually, you know, so for pension providers that we're talking to now, they're seeing it as an opportunity to actually say, hold on, we're actually a product provider. We can help you here. We're not just an administrator, an insurance company that's holding on to your money and you're hoping that everything works out. They want to engage now. And, you know, I think we're giving them that opportunity as well to do it, and to kind of, you know, to wake their customers up a little bit too around pensions, because it's a big thing, right?
It's much needed, and Pedro and I will have a lot of this conversation around Google and Amazon coming in, and now is a fact. We've been talking to it for a couple of years, and now Amazon and Google are here, right? And they're all about transparency and convenience, right? And maybe Pedro, you can pick up a bit on that. Do you feel that they will really be able to drive the change and push it in the industry to fast track what we're trying to do here? Or they will feel the challenge as well of bringing that level of transparency, because they're all about transparency, right? And convenience.
Well, I think in terms of transparency and convenience, yes, absolutely. Not, I would say Amazon more so than Google in terms of transparency. Now, what I know so far at least, I don't expect Google and Amazon to set up an insurance company anytime soon, but they will come into the marketplace to act
Amazon
as.
already applied for license in India.
And didn't Google try it?
Google was a
But
comparison
as-
engine exactly. in
What
the
that
US,
was a
exactly.
comparison engine, and I do see Amazon becoming a marketplace for insurance.
Yeah.
That's their business. Insurance is another product, like
But the,
an iPhone could be.
Yeah.
I'd see them doing that sooner than selling insurance products themselves. I think if they were going to make a move, it would be in that area first, and then eventually, if they have the appetite,
Sure.
there is.
They signed
They're
a
not-
deal with Mafre in Spain, and then in
Well,
Vitality they have a couple of deals.
As you can see, everybody's dealing with Mafre.
And I think that's and I don't see this as a bad move. Like Hanover Re, Munich Re, they are trying themselves with so many InsurTech startups
Yeah.
because they don't want to left behind.
Absolutely,
on the innovation curve. And Mafre, I think what they realize and they realized before some of the bigger companies that the disruption is happening. The pace is slow, but it is going to happen. So either you join it and you upgrade your system, you bring more transparency, you bring more convenience to the company and for your consumers as well, or you're going to left behind in the likes of Amazon and Google's. They know that they're coming. It might be 1 or 2 or 3 years down the line, but they are coming and they will bring innovation. And if you don't join forces, or if you don't upgrade to the level where the convenience Amazon and Google provide, then you're going to left behind, you're going to lose, and there will be companies that will close.
I was going to say that the Mafre, like all Spaniards in general, are very forward-looking, and
Yes.
ain't nobody
Yeah, and
but
also
Throw it in there, Pedro.
pitching in there.
They were the first company in Europe to join hand with Amazon. So
Yes.
that's
True. They're a very interesting company to watch. Now, what I wanted to say as well is like these comparison websites are very, very good for the customer, and they really add in the transparency. However, they can also stifle innovation. And now is when I'm speaking with my actuarial hat on. You can say if you develop a product that is not amenable for a comparison website, you could be just simply out of the market because you don't appear there. And that stifles innovation in a way that when you've been working as an actuary in product development, you feel the pain. If a comparison website becomes very successful, you need to be there. Otherwise, you're not in the market. But they can become inflexible too.
Let me pick up on that because that's what I was hinting at. If Amazon comes to the marketplace, all of a sudden that we see with some products, they can come up and rank the products up as they would like, and we saw that with some detergent products that what they did as a marketplace, and some insurers might not want to participate as well, and if they don't want to participate, they might be out of this big opportunity, right? So it could be a risk of Amazon coming in, or they could just analyze and understand the products and then underwrite the best products themselves, as an insurance carrier. I'll just want you guys' last opinions on that, and then I'll ask you guys one last question before we wrap up.
Yeah, I think Amazon, they don't want to jump straight into reinsurance business. They want to understand the markets first. They want to understand the product first. They want to gain the knowledge of the industry first, because that's something completely new to them. They're not a financial services company. They're not an insurance company. So it's going to take them at least 3, 4, 5 years to understand the whole market, the underwriting kind of like concept. So, and it's a pretty smart move to partner up with Mafre, and I'm pretty sure that in next couple of years they will partner up with some other big reinsurance companies. That will give them a platform to build their next move, and either if it's a marketplace for insurance or if it's their own, they will start reinsuring some of the risks themselves. I don't know, but they will definitely bring innovation, convenience, and transparency to the insurance market, which is much needed at this stage. And you're right to say that some companies will feel threatened, because if they're not on the insurance comparison engine, or if they're not on this marketplace, they might not be able to sell policies. And that is true for so many different industries. Insurance is not the only one. And what I see in comparison engine or these marketplaces is the distribution channel. If you think your distribution channel is strong enough that you can sell your policy without being on Amazon Marketplace or without being on a comparison engine like Ucompare, then fair enough, you are good without joining these compare. But if you feel like you want to grow your business, you want to add another dimension to your business, then this is the route to the market. And sooner or later, insurance companies will realize that,
and they will participate in such activities. And why insurance companies are so against the comparison engine, in my opinion, because they were all really dominated so far, that you have to offer the cheapest price on the marketplace in order to sell the policy. So some insurance companies, they don't want to get into this fight with other insurance companies that whoever has the cheapest price is going to sell the most policies. And that's why what we are doing is we're adding another dimension, that we're not just comparing the price, we're comparing the benefits. Now we're adding another dimension to it. We're going to let the customer review the products. They're like FIFO does in the UK. So we would have the expert reviewing the product. So the insurance companies might be able to reduce the price to the bare minimum, but if the cover levels are good, they can see it's a 2-star or 3-star product, and people will not fall for it. They might fall in for it now, but in 2 years' time, when they can compare the benefits, they can see the ratings from the insurance industry experts and as well as the consumers, they wouldn't fall for it. And that's where the insurance company will see the real value, that it's not just the price, it's how much value you're adding to the customers.
That is where you see
100%. I'm just passing it to Alan. So Alan, I want to see, do you feel Amazon going to the pension industry? Can they do anything there? Do you feel that, or they would leave that to last?
Nobody wants to touch pensions. Nobody wants to touch pensions. Yeah, no, it'll definitely be the last touched. It's one of those things, and it's one of those kind of problem areas that is quite tricky. But I think the pension space will have to kind of like accelerate a little bit. I think what's happening in the pension space which is a good thing. They're trying to remove the complexities more, because that's the demand. Customers want less complexities, and the stuff that has been introduced to pensions over the years is just ridiculous. So I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of simplify things more, and maybe eventually somebody like Amazon could come in and try and bring that, because it's difficult to explain, right?
Could they not wrap a prime? They don't do a prime on what you're doing. They could probably do a prime service. Fees 1%, and wrap all your pensions in one.
Yeah, they probably could, but it's they could, but would it be a thing that customers would use straight away? Or I think there's a lot of education needed with pensions too, right? It's just not a simple product. The same way it was kind of touched on income protection, right? In that insurance space, that's a high ticket item, but it's hard to kind of get the message across about the benefits and the values involved in it. So then if you're trying to do that and then compare products and stuff, it's a difficult thing. But yeah, I don't see Amazon necessarily. I think Amazon maybe more on the insurance side. No, for sure.
Alan is positive.
But
since we're here in the cave in the dungeon, what would you guys like to see in the next 12 months happening in Ireland in the insurance or InsurTech space? What do you think would be most relevant? If you had one wish, what would you like to see over the next 12 months?
Well, I think from my experience in InsurTech, and just to caveat again, it's pensions is a little bit kind of on the fringes a little bit, but so I would have had a lot of my experience in InsurTech and in the London scene, if you like, because we were over our customer base, the UK, and so I've seen what they do over there, and the actual insurance providers are really engaging with the sector more. A lot more than I think they're engaging with it here. And I think there's a lot to gain from doing that. And I think there's probably a lot to learn from looking at London and looking at the UK in general around the InsurTech space. It's definitely heating up a lot. I'm just not sure that they're kind of seeing it that way in Ireland yet. But if there was anything, for me, it would be to see more engagement with the InsurTech space and startups and platforms, etc. Just to, that's something that I think needs to happen, certainly in the space.
If I would have one, I would say at the moment, the bodies like Insurance Ireland,
Central Bank of Ireland, regulator. What they're doing at the moment is they are more focused on the insurance companies and insurance provider, reinsurance companies. So what I would like to see is they take a bit of focus on the end users, the normal Joe Blog customer. They need to be a bit more customer focused as well, and push insurance companies, brokers, institutions to drive more transparency, because at the moment, you know it yourself in Ireland, God knows how your insurance premiums are calculated. So if I'm buying a car insurance policy, I don't know what is the criteria behind mine. Last year I paid 600, I have no accident, I have no incident at all. My premium went up. Why? Somebody needs to give me an answer why. Insurance companies are not giving it because the regulators, the bodies like Insurance Ireland, they're not pushing them. They're not giving them a stick that you need to be more transparent with your customers. You need to explain to them that what is driving up their premium. So I want to see a bit more transparency and a bit more push from the regulators, from the Insurance Ireland like institutions, that the focus needs to be on the customer as well as on the insurance companies. And at the moment I see that there's a bit of lack of focus on the end users, and it's all insurance companies, reinsurance companies. It's all kind of like focus. The whole focus is on the other side of the spectrum.
That's super great for you.
I think, in all fairness to the Central Bank of Ireland, just one, there is a focus on customer protection and customer focus. At the moment, it's just slowly building up, but there is something going on. Now, I would like to echo your comments on I would like to see more engagement from direct insurers with the startups. I've seen from reinsurers, but I think it'd be great if insurance companies came to the InsurTech scene and say, well, these are the challenges we have, and if you have a way to tackle those challenges that we don't have, that'd be great, and that would create a very fruitful partnership. And I see that going on in London, and I think it is sorely missing here in Ireland.
Yeah, and I would like to see like talks like this, events like this, and the insurance companies come to these events, the reinsurance companies, the regulators, the Insurance Ireland, so they participate in these events to understand what the startups, the InsurTech startups, the other startups, what problems they're facing, how they could help them rather than hinder their progress. So that's what that's what happened in the markets like London, in Singapore, in Germany. You see the Munich Re participate. Munich Re has their own accelerator program. They deal with the InsurTech startups directly. So I would like to see something similar, because I haven't seen any insurance companies participating in any of the InsurTech events. Well, they sponsor maybe 1 or 2 events, but they need to understand what are the pain points for the startups and help them overcome these obstacles rather than create more obstacles for them.
Dinesh went with 2 wishes, but anyway. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the time. Appreciate the talk. I knew it was going to be like this. These guys always speak the truth, and that's what we're here doing, right? Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you very much.